Okay, today we are going to be looking at expanding double brackets. I'm going to use the grid method, which is my preferred method, but I will also go through FOIL and Miss Bridges' dodgy eyebrows. If you're not familiar, you will get it by the end of this, I promise. As normal, please make sure that you're using a pen and paper to make notes as you go through of anything that is important. Utilize the video, make sure that you rewind and listen again if things didn't make sense the first time. If you see that symbol, it means I'm going to ask you to pause it. I'd like you to have a go at the activity. It is there to help you check that you understand what's going on. And finally, make sure you are focused. Please try not to have music, TV, and other distractions around you. For the next 10 minutes, try and focus only on this video. So I'm going to start using the grid method. And this is my preferred method. There are reasons for that. I'm not going to go too far into detail. There is no best and worst method for expanding double brackets. As long as you use it consistently and it works for you, stick with what you like. The grid method, take each of the brackets. I'm going to start with my first one. I'm going to put up here. And my second one, I'm going to put over here. Notice that I put -2 because there is a minus there, okay? Do not drop that negative sign. You need to make sure that's in straight away. Also, I put the first bracket on the top and the second bracket on the left. It doesn't matter. You can put the first bracket on the left if you want. This is just my preference. A quick reminder, this is a multiplication grid. So we're now going to multiply each one. So first box, x times x, is going to give me x squared. The next box, 5 times x is 5x. The bottom left box here now, or bottom middle I suppose, is minus 2x. Make sure you've got that minus following through as you go. So 2 times x is 2x, a negative times a positive is a negative. And finally, minus 10, negative again for the same reason. Once you've done that, it is good practice then to write out all 4 as one long expression. The reason for this is simply that if you've done this, you're likely to get nearly all the marks for doing the expansion. The final mark is for simplifying. The x squareds, there's only one set of x squareds, but there are 2 x's. There's a 5x and a minus 2x. So 5x take 2x is 3x, and then there's a minus 10 at the end. And that's the complete expansion. If you'd just written that last line, then yep, you'll get the answer mark, but you may miss out on method marks, and this might have been a 2-mark question. So please make sure you are putting some working out, even if it's just this unsimplified bit, get that on paper because it is worth a mark. And that's all there is to it. The important thing here is, though, that this grid, you've got 2 brackets, each with 2 terms in. So x is a term, 5 is a term, x is another term, minus 2 is a term. You should have 4 terms in your grid, 4 terms that might simplify. We're now going to look at FOIL. FOIL is a different method. You'll be familiar with this. A lot of teachers will have used this or something similar. And basically, FOIL stands for firsts, outsides, insides, and lasts. Okay, and what that means is, start by multiplying the firsts from each bracket. Well, the firsts in each bracket is the x and the x. Well, x times x is x squared. The outside is the outside of the first bracket and the outside of the second bracket, so it's those two. And minus 2 times x is minus 2x. The insides, these two here, 5 times x is 5x. And the last 2 is the last one in each bracket, which is those two. That's going to bug me, so there we go. Minus 2 times 5 is minus 10. Same thing, I'm just going to very quickly write all those out. You'll notice this has come out in a slightly different order to the previous question, but when we simplify, the x squared stays the same. Minus 2x plus 5x is plus 3x, and the minus 10 is minus 10. And that's the same answer that we got using the grid. dodgy eyebrows is a sort of an alternative to FOIL. FOIL, we drew these lines to join up which bits we were multiplying as we went. Dodgy eyebrows is the same thing, but it's in a slightly different order. And we are going to draw, well, I'm going to do it, these two first. X squared minus 10 plus 5x. And this last bit over here is minus 2x. The x squared, the minus 10 stay the same, plus 3x. There we go. It's called dodgy eyebrows because it looks like a face. The two brackets are your eyes. There's eyebrows above it and a nose and a mouth below. So they are particularly dodgy eyebrows because they actually cross over each other. When you're doing this, please make sure that they do cross over because that is why they are so dodgy. Also, you'll notice my answer here is the same as before. It's in a slightly different order. There's nothing wrong with that, but it is normal, I will say, to focus on putting it in descending powers of x. And what I mean is do your x squareds, then your x's, then your constants, your number at the end. It doesn't matter which variation you use, doesn't matter the method, it doesn't even matter if this order is changed as long as the negative signs are consistent in the right place, it should still come out the same. Okay, here we have a slightly more challenging question. It's going to work exactly the same, uses the exact same method, but here you've got some slightly different terms in that you've got a number in front of the x and you've got an x squared in your bracket. Don't let that put you off. Give it a go now. I'm going to put the answers up, see how much of it you get right. Okay, if you did that using the grid method, this is what I would have expected you to get. And just in case you did the 3x plus 2 on the left-hand side instead of the top, which is my habit, the alternative is below. You'll notice you've got exactly the same answer with the exception of these two middle terms swapping over. It's made no material difference to your answer. It's only changed the order of the terms. Notice as well that there's no simplifying going on here because I have one term with x cubed, one term with x squared, one term with x, and one term that is just a number, a constant of minus 2. If you did FOIL, here's your answer. Again, it's exactly the same answer as the bottom diagram, bottom grid. Please make sure, whichever version of this, you've got the negatives in the right place. It should be a negative 3x, a positive 8x squared, and a negative 2. If you did the dodgy eyebrows, you should still get the same answer, but you'll have it as 12x cubed, a minus 2, the nose is an 8x squared, and a minus 3x for the smile. Doesn't matter which order you get these in, as long as that negative is in the right place. Okay, from here then, make sure you have a go at the worksheets. You should have everything you need, but if you're still unsure, go back, have another watch of the explanation of the method that you prefer. Doesn't matter which you choose, as long as you follow it carefully and watch out for those negatives. The negatives are where people tend to go wrong. Okay, speak to you soon.